Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here. I hope that you are well and having an amazing day. Since my little video did not come up the way it's supposed to, I'm trying to adjust some colors. That's a lot better. Okay. I'll just quickly do this. So if you haven't already joined the raffle, exclamation point RAFFLE. What that is a raffle to earn 200 junk bucks. Junk bucks are a virtual currency that you earn while you're here during my live streams. When you get 2,000 junk bucks, you can type exclamation point award. I don't have my sheet anymore. And then you can get your $10 off coupon to my shop. So thank you so much for being here. Hey, if you could say hi in the chat, even if you are lurking, just so that you're registered so I know that you're here. And thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, Norella. Hey, Robin. Robin is my right-hand woman and a really good friend of mine. And I'm so blessed to have her in my life. She will be taking notes throughout the live stream. So if you have a question, put it in all caps. If I don't see it, sometimes Robin will re-ask that question. If I don't see it, please feel free to type it again. If you know the answer, go ahead and speak up in the chat. If you have a YouTube channel, I'll say it right at the beginning, you can say, hey, I have a YouTube and come follow me. You won't be able to share a link, but you'll be able to say you have it so y'all can follow each other. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Prayers to your father. Is it what I see? A father is having your dad. Well, I pray for your dad that it goes well. All right. We'll send you hugs and love. All righty, everybody. So I am working with, there you go, Sue, you're in the raffle. I'm working with Norella's kit, Pansies. So I printed all three of her kits. She has a journal page kit. She has a journal card kit, and it's beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. Here's some of the journal cards that are in her kit. And then she has an ephemera pack that you can print as well. And I have used all of those three kits, and the links are down in the description box down below. What else? Yay! Okay. Hey, Irma, welcome, welcome, welcome. So here's what I've done to start off with. I took some book pages and I just glued them together. So that's 2 book pages. And I did it because this was what I had on hand. So I'm not giving you exact measurements because I'm just kind of winging it, okay? And then I went ahead from here to here and made 8.5 inches, and I just folded this over. It's going to become a pocket. So this is 8.5 inches by about 10-ish, maybe. Maybe it's right at 10. I'm not sure. Let's look. It's right at 10 inches across. I want it to be a little bit smaller than my normal 8.5 by 11 because I'm going to cut this up. So we're going to start with this page. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to give it some color. It's, you know, just a book page. It's not really interesting. It's out of a Bible encyclopedia. I've got some Tattered Angels here. This is the Dragonfly, Dancing Dragonfly Deep Pink. I'm trying to think. Pink, what is it called? I've put it away. Some of my, if you go to my website and just put in pink Tattered Angels, you'll get some of the pink. So it's similar to Party Pink. It's a little bit deeper pink than that. Crimson's a little bit darker. Not crimson. Black Cherry. That's another one. It's darker than that. I'm just going to spray this all over. And then I'm going to grab a paintbrush that's been sitting in water. So I'm just going to daub off some of the water, and I'm just helping the spray kind of go over the whole page. That's all I'm doing, just kind of smearing that around. I'm going to flip this over. Come on now, cooperate. And we're going to spray the backside too. We are going to do some sewing today, probably quite a bit. So just spray some more down here. So it's another way of dyeing your paper, kind of like, you know, you would tea dye or coffee dye, maybe even use food items like avocado dye, and you would dip it. Well, I'm just painting my page. Hey, Barb. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Giovanna. Hey, Margie. So glad y'all are here. Hey, Tanya. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're not as late today, Barb. You're here. You're here. I really haven't really used it on my gel press because Tattered Angels on a gel press, it resists. So you're going to get kind of the same technique if you were to use, say, the craft sheet and spray it on there and then dip your paper into it, kind of like what we might do with some distress inks or distress oxide. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. You can use it. I just don't because it just a resist medium. It doesn't work the same. Oh, thank you, Margie, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh-oh, Sam, don't be knocking yourself out. All right, so I'm just kind of drying the page just a little bit with my heat tool here, just so that it's not sopping wet. And I'm grabbing a stencil from the June Stencil Club. I forgot to ask Henry to cut the July Stencil Club for me, so he hasn't done that for me yet. I haven't felt very well. I've had a headache for almost 2 weeks now. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, my head throbbing, got up, took some medication and fell back asleep and didn't wake up till like 5 till 8 this morning. So I'm kind of woo. All right, so now I've got the blue water. Curious is close to that. What is this one? This is the Royal Peacock. It's a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go over the top of this. This bottle's almost empty. I'm trying to use it up. I'm going to get a mop-up page. And this is just some of my linen texture paper. And we're going to mop this up. And I like to just kind of spritz the backside. I am going to also use a stencil on it in just a moment, but I wanted to spritz the backside just a little. And I'm not using my heat tool on that stencil very long, so don't worry. As long as you don't stay over it for a long period of time, you're not going to melt your stencil. Just keep your heat tool moving quickly. I'm going to turn that page over and spray the back side. This is where your fingers can get messy, because I'm going to put this on here and press. And we'll use this page here in just a little bit. So that was the first mop up, and then here's the mop up over the back side. So it just kind of picks up a little bit. I didn't really push it down very well, so I didn't get a lot of color, but I got a little. I'll set this aside to dry. I'm going to dry this some more. Thank you, Morgan, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Gotcha. Normal with a Tonya. Oh, you did, Sam? Awesome. Yeah. Oh, to get the print right, you got to play with it. Sometimes you got to get it. If you want letters or words done on the gel plate and it the right way around on the page, would I have to put the gel plate back to front? So thank you so much, Deborah. Okay, so what you would have to do is you would have to put the letters down wrong way, and then when you print, it lifts up, it's the right way. So it's reversed imaged, it's mirrored imaged is what you have to do. So basically, you would need a rubber stamp that was wrong, that if you were to stamp it directly to the page, the letter would be backwards. Does that make sense, Julie? So whatever you put on the gel plate, it's backwards when you print the page. Does that make sense, Julie? Yeah. Okay, she had the right idea for sure, because then you become more memorable. All All right, so here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut this page in half. We said it was 10 inches. I'm just grabbing my big paper cutter. My Fiskars paper cutter, which is probably about, I don't know, 7 years old, is finally giving up the ghost. I need to get a new one. Well, that costs money, so one of these days maybe I'll have some extra money and I'll buy one. So I'm using out my big guillotine paper cutter, and I'm just cutting this in half. Okay. You love mop-up papers? Yeah. You're welcome, Julie. Yeah, so if you want it to be right side up when you gel print, you have to do it backwards on the gel plate. So now I'm just going to go around the edge real fast with some distress ink. And see how that transforms that page? It's not just a stark page anymore. We've added a little bit of color, a little bit of texture. Whoop! Ink pad went flying. Eclectic style. Yay! And your lady one use them. I've got some more. I may be giving those away later. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this little piece here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in here to help glue it in place. Flip this over. And let's look in my fabric stash here. So what I do is I will rip some fabric. So let me see what I've got pieces wise. Here's a good piece, I think, that I can use. I had a couple here, maybe. Yeah, we'll use this one. So I've got this little piece of fabric. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go to the sewing machine. Giovanna made this little sewing lamb. Sewing lamb. So I'm going to cut this, use my fabric scissors to fit right across here. Cut it this way. I'm going to do it again on this one. Cut it across like so. If y'all haven't already entered the raffle, please do so. Hey, and by the way, you know, when you are done watching the video, definitely come back and give me a comment what you like, okay? What you found about my video that was fun. Yeah, it costs money. Thanks, Morgan. You like those colors? All right, so we're going to go over to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch right across here. So basically, I'm just stitching this piece of fabric down, okay? I'm looking at my design. I guess I should change the camera. All right. Oh, things aren't right. Can y'all see now? Yeah, I think so. All right, so we're going to put this piece of fabric down. I'm using a regular needle, regular sewing machine. I've got it set on a zigzag stitch. I've got it set on what I call 2 and 2. I've got black thread in the upper and the lower, and I'm just going to stitch right across. There's not going to be any wet glue really right here at this edge. So I've just decorated what's going to be the top of a pocket. See what we got here? I'm going to do that again. Thank you so much, Sam. I greatly appreciate it. Sewing camp. All right, we're going to stitch again. I tried to use a lot of fabric today. I went through my stash and I found a bunch of purple fabric. So I was like, oh, I want to use all of these. All right, so we just stitched on those. So let's come back over here. All right, so we just stitched those pieces, okay? But wait, there's more. You just want to start a fight? You're getting a little late to the boss fight. All right, so we've got these two pieces. Then I have a piece of coffee dyed sheet music. and it is larger than 8.5 by 11. So I trimmed it so that this way it's 8.5 inches, but this way I just scored so that there's a little bit of a flap here, okay? And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay this out. And I'm going to take this piece and glue it down along this edge. And this is going to be a flip out. So in the middle of our journal, we'll have this flip out page. So what I'll do is just add a little bit of glue. I don't need a lot. I am going to sew. I just need it to hold long enough that when I get to the sewing machine, I'm not having to fight getting my piece of paper into place, okay? And I'll go ahead and glue a little bit right here because I am going to sew, and then that way it doesn't flop around on me. So let me show this again. So I have a little tab here that I glued this piece on, and then this will flip out, okay? Like that. So I'm going to repeat that over here. Make sure that I'm doing it right side up. All right, so glue right down this edge, and then we'll add this piece. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get it slid up just a little. All right, so I'll glue right here and right there. All right, so we're going to go back to the sewing machine. So sewing lamb. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to stitch down this edge across the top and down this side. And then I'll do the same over here. I'll stitch down this edge across the top and down this side. So you kind of have to maneuver it just a little bit around the sewing machine. Thankfully, since it's paper, it's somewhat flexible, so you should be able to get it up underneath your sewing machine. But if you're having a problem, you could always stitch on that piece and then glue it into place. The stitching is just kind of help fortifying, but doesn't have to have it. Oh, you've got a puppy? Oh, puppies are cute. I don't think I want another puppy. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button here. Let's go over here to sewing cam. Okay. So I'm just kind of looking at this. Which way do I want to go? I'll kind of start over here on this edge and stitch up. And then we'll go down this way, but I'm going to cut it. Start over here. Oh, did I cover the camera? No. I thought I covered the camera. Hercules isn't even in here today. He's hiding out in the other room, I guess. He's been going outside a lot today. Yeah, they're a lot of work and money. I agree, Barb. We've had some really nice weather. It's been cool today. We had some rain early this morning, and then it's cooled off quite a bit. So I'm just going to kind of cram this up under here. And then stitch. Try not to sew on top of your page. Sew it together where you don't want it. Mainly this is just decorative. Alrighty, so now I've got that portion done. So you kind of see this. We'll come back over here. Back over here. Tame yourself. All right. So now we have this flip out. Okay. But wait, there's more. Let me find my pieces. All right, I got a couple of pieces of the full sheet page. I forgot to put some distress inks on that, so let me grab my distressing. I need to replace my pad. It's about wore out. I thought I had extras, and I don't see them in my stash. I guess I finally used them up. I need to put one of the felt things on here and see how that acts, if it acts a little better than the sponge. Thank you so much, Irma, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lori's been on the trip to Lake Tahoe. Yeah, it was wonderful, I bet. Gorgeous. All right, so I've got these strips of paper. And what I want to do, I'm going to flip this over just so that I can work from it this way. And this strip's going to fit right in here at the top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue to help hold it in place. Because, I almost smushed it. I'm going to go back to the sewing machine here in just a moment. So I'm going to come across the top here. See how that kind of adds a little bit of pattern. So I'm going to do that again on this side. And then I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch down this edge and this edge just to help hold that in place, and it gives a little decorative look. And I just realized I'm missing. I'm going to go get some paper that I forgot. So y'all look at that for a moment. And if you have questions, lots of lamb coming. All right, I'll be right back. I've got to go get another piece of paper off my printer. I thought I already had it in here, but it was taking too long to print, so I left it. So I'll be right back. If I had room, I'd move my printer in here, but I don't hardly have a space for it in here at the moment. Okay. So we're going to go to the sewing machine and stitch across here and here, okay? All right, let me see. Sewing cam. Back to the sewing machine. Are y'all tired of the sewing machine yet? All right, so I'm just going to stitch across the top. This is a great way to basically have one print, but get a lot of use out of it. So if your printing costs a lot for you to get done, or you only have one piece of paper and you would like to use it in multiple ways, well, cut it into strips. All right, so that's stitched across there. You're not in Tornado Alley. That's more. Yeah, sewing, sewing, sewing. Keep those stitches sewing. All right, so this is curling up and it bugs me. So I'll just put a little glue right here behind it and kind of coax it into place because I don't want it sticking up. That's what I like about Aleene's tacky glue. It dries clear and it doesn't take a lot to hold it in place. Okay, so we got that. We're getting there a little at a time. All right, so let's look at this area here. And I went and got this piece of paper. So I'm going to cut this into a 1.5 inch strip. Okay, good. My paper cutter worked that time. And then about a 5 inch. I think that's right. Or no, it was 4.5. I think that was 4.5. Yeah, I went 4.5. So we're going to do 4.5. And that should fit right in there. 4.5. Like this. Oh, thank you, Janice, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it seems like they all have something. They all have something. And that's going to go over here. So I'll add some distress inks to these two pieces. So I'm decorating the whole page, making it a fun flip out page. Okay, so I'm going to glue these into place down here at the bottom. I'm not going to sew these. I could have if I had placed them on here before I made the pocket, but I think it looks pretty cute with it just on the bottom here. Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere where it's super duper cold. We had a super cold winter here in Oklahoma, and I did not like it. It was not fun. Okay, we've got this area up here, and so I found some of these tear-off sheets, and I thought they might look good up here, but that's kind of plain, right? So let's add some patterning to it. So let me grab my little, this is my mop-up pages that I stamp on a bazillion times. So we're going to line that up, and then I've got the Victorian button stencil, if I remember correctly. And I've got picked raspberry distress oxide, and I didn't do it on this one, but I need to put the word pink with my label maker. And I'm just going to gently rub and add a little pattern to my little piece of paper. Now, if you don't have these little tear-off pages, we could coffee dye it, tea dye it, food dye it with food coloring, or some people have even used Kool-Aid or spray it with Tattered Angels to get it the color that you want, and then do the stenciling on top. All right, so now we've got a little pattern on there, but wait, I want to do more. So I have a stamp here. This is the Beach Rose stamp. Why are things falling on the floor? Oh, I don't know what it was. All right, so I'm going to stamp this in the corners. Kind of rotating it a little bit. Just to kind of give it a little pattern. Let's do it again. You need to get a heater, Julie. The oldest one's at the bar, Lori. We're going on a cruise to Alaska in August, and I have a feeling we'll be one of the younger couples that'll be on the cruise ship. All right, this is where I want to put that. So I'm going to put that right about in the center here and just glue it down. I'm so glad to live in a world where there are Octobers. We kind of had that fall feel today for a little while. It was a little gloomy outside, but the weather was crisp. It was cool. I think it's already started to warm up a little bit. I'll put this one over here. So we've created some unique writing space. Thank you, Robin. You have to crack your lobster claws. Barb, I want some of your dinner. That sounds pretty good. I want some of that. Okay. So I got this flip out and this flip out. Let's put some embellishments on it. So I'm going to dig in my little bin o embellishments. I'm going to need that in a moment. And I'll need that. Gotta have these. Gotta have those. I've got all these little embellishments that I fussy cut out. Is that everything? I think so. Okay. Alrighty. So this is one of the embellishments from the kit. And I thought that would look kind of cute just across the corner there. Music. You're craving oysters? Well, I'm looking forward to getting some fresh salmon while we're in Alaska. And this is another little element from the kit. That'll go right here. So you kind of see we got this really huge page. We have this blank area in the middle. So in the kit comes this little piece right here that's about 5 1/4, maybe right at 5, about 5 1/4 inches. Reminder, Norella, don't make them any bigger than 5 1/4 inches so I can use them as a pocket. All right, so I'm just going to look where my center is, and I want to glue. Thank you, Sam. And I put little tabs. I use some of my stamped on papers and just cut them into 1-inch strips and glue them on the back so that I'll have the full use of that pocket. And then this, you know what that is, y'all? That's a Starbucks sleeve that I trimmed a little bit. And I'm just going to glue that right here in the middle on the bottom. And that's my new Memories rubber stamp. No, this was perfect. This was perfect. I'm just reminding you to make sure that they're no bigger than 5 1/4 inches. This one was perfect. All right, so we're just going to take glue and glue. I'm just gluing it on the bottom here because I may want to stick something a little bit wider. And I just want to keep this from falling out. So I'm just kind of making sure this is in my center. You can put something heavy on them to help glue it into place if you want. All right, so let's add some more stuff here. So I have Be the Change You Wish to See in the World. And I had, oh, here we go. I have a scrap of cardstock here. This is one of my new, this is Gandhi, Be the Change. So I'm going to stamp that over here on the edge. I'm on some linen cardstock, so it has some texture to it. I like it, how it works. And I'm just ripping it. So if you don't get it straight, rip it. And then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's going to go over here. And this away. And then I've got, I can't remember if this is from the Laughter. This is the Sunshine one. So we're just going to stamp this one. Y'all get in on the raffle. All right, we're going to stamp this kind of close to the edge here. Keep your face in the sunshine and you cannot see the shadow. It's what the flowers do. I think this might be from the Nature Cube. I haven't finished putting my stamps on cards so that I can give them their proper name every time I use them. Okay, so I need this one, this one. All right, y'all get in on the raffle. While y'all are doing that, I'm going to add some distress inks to these sayings. I don't think I used the right thing, but... Okay. Oh, I see what I did. I accidentally put black soot on my ink pad. I was wondering if that's what I did the other day. Dang it. I'll have to clean it. All right. Y'all in on the raffle? Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Junkie Joe says, don't be using no links. All right, so let's pick a winner of our 200 junk bucks, and that winner is Irma. Congratulations, you won 200 junk bucks. All right, let me find a prize. I don't even know what's in here, so we're just gonna do reset and red, blue. All right, open giveaway. I just happened to find this little bundle of stuff, and I thought, well, I'll just pass it along. So I've got some fabric. It's got butterflies and ladybugs and bees. And then it's got some of this red. It's a wired ribbon that's kind of a waffle. It's got fuzzy. And then this is blue with some hearts. You can make a belly band out of that. And then here's a wide ribbon with some lace on it. These were given to me and I'm just passing them along. I think this was a Valentine's thing when we did a Valentine swap. So these are little Valentine cards. These are super cute. Some more Valentine cards. And then here's some hearts. So some red and blue heart goodies. Y'all get in on the raffle. Put that back in the baggie so I know where it all is. Time to refresh. You're very welcome, Irma. Set that up here. Y'all get in on the raffle. All right, so I want some stuff up here. So let's look. I've got some fabric scraps. Let's do maybe like that. All right, so I got some little scraps of fabric here. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I want this. Let's see, do I want it this way or this way? I got a little scrap of fabric. So I'm going to glue that down. And then I have a punch that I happened to punch some little butterflies out of a scrap of purple paper. And I thought that'd just be kind of cute with the pansies. And then we'll put this over here. Like that. And this will go up here. And we'll put this one over here. Like that. All right, so we just added lots of little layers of goodies there, okay? So now let's put some stuff in the pocket. So we've got this large journal card that'll go in here. And I have, where is it? This journal card that'll go over here. And then I had these scraps of paper. These are the scraps that were given to me of one of my friends. Her mother moved and she had a room full of stuff that she couldn't fit into her new apartment. So I went over there and picked it all up. Well, these were from wedding invitations. These were all the leftover pieces. She kept all of those and they were all organized and neat. So I thought, well, I'm going to use them. And I just added a piece of fabric and stitched it across the top. I just thought it'd be kind of cute for an additional writing space. All right, so now I'm going to flip this over, and I need to put something on this one. I'm checking out my sample that I have over here. All right, I don't think you need to see me do the stenciling again. Oh, thank you, Tanya, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the quilted starburst, I think is what it's called. Or quilted star, I don't remember. And we're going to use the same, might as well. Let's use the beach rose again. It's on my desk. You know, when something is on my desk, I have a tendency to use it, and I may overuse stuff. But that's what I like about being able to have these different rubber stamps, is that I'm doing different themes, but they all kind of fit together, in my opinion. So those are going to go right on here. What do you think? Kind of gives us a whole and everything. Incentive page. You like it? I'm just adding glue to the back, and we're going to put that right here. Star. All right, we're going to have one journal raffle for sure today. I'm going to show you a cover design. All right, so we've got this part. And then I have some more fabric. So this time, let me get my, I'm going to cut this about like that, I think. Have little strings everywhere. So these are going to go right here. Let's just kind of put them in this corner. And over here. And then I have a couple more of these little punched butterflies that I thought would look cute over the top. And you could add more bling if you want. Just kind of depends on what you like. I've got these two little guys, and these are labels that come in the kit. So I'm going to put them down here. Lots of layers. Like it? All right, and then up here I want to put some stuff. So I stamped it ahead of time. I stamped the word notes on some scraps of paper, and I thought those would look cute right up there. You can't wait for this Pansy Digital, Robin. You're ready? You're chomping at the bit to create? It's a pretty kit. I like it. Aren't they gorgeous, Lori? I love it. It's a great kit. So we got notes up there. All right, so that's this side. We need to put some journal cards in the pockets. So I've got this one. That'll go over here. I've got this one. That'll go over here. All right, so let's flip this over. Well, that's a plain page. We need to do something about it, right? Love the colors. All right. Just so that it didn't take me so long to do during the live stream, I took a napkin and I used my technique of painting a page and then pressing the napkin onto the page. And I folded down this top edge and stitched around it to make a pocket. So this is going to go right here on the back side of our page. So I'll just glue this into place. Okay. Like so. Watching intently. I wanted it to have a little bit of an eclectic feel, so that's why I used this napkin. Even though it's lavender and it's not pansies, it's flowers. So I figured it's all the same color scheme, it goes together. Let me flip my page over so I know what else I did. Ah, okay. So then I had this little piece from the kit that we're going to put right here. And we'll put it as a tuck spot. So I'll just put glue across the bottom and then up the right-hand side and then glue that down. And then I've got a little pansy flower from the kit. Blink! Looks like a valance across there. Yeah, I can do that. Look like a valance. Put that right about there. Cooperate with me. Go over there. You're in the way. Shame on you. Okay, so now I went ahead and I stamped the word journal from the Journal Quartet #2. And let's get this kind of centered. Oh, now don't be discombobulating. All right, let's put that right here in the middle. Like so. And then we'll flip it. And let's put this one over here. You feel a feel of mixed flowers. They're beautiful. You like that? It's the different kinds of flowers. And that'll go there. It's almost dry. So over here, I have one of the library cards, my rubber stamp that you can put on your own paper. It is a true library card. I didn't add any other embellishments to it. I just thought it kind of looked neat, just poking that down in there. On this side, I have another one of Norella's cards. And then I had another scrap of paper and had one of these flowers left over. And I thought it was kind of cute because it kind of pokes out behind. And then here, a long time ago had cut this little doily shape, and I decided to add the ribbon through the holes. It has little holes on it, tied a bow, and then used the pansies from Norella's kit. I just thought that kind of a different feel for that page. So what do you think? You come to this page, so this will be the first part that you would see. So you have all these little elements, and then you flip it over, and you've got this page. So you have writing space there. And then you flip these out, and we have writing space on each side. And then we have tuck spots here, pockets, plenty of room to add more. And we go back this way. You like it? Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I need to get a drink. All righty. So here's my sample. It's the same concept. Okay. Let's get this page. I'll go ahead and fold it in half. And I'm going to do this. I'm just rubbing off my ink pad because apparently I re-inked it with black. I was wondering why it was so dark. I'm just kind of getting some of that ink off. And then I'm going to get the brown. We're going to ink the edge real fast. This is a green linen paper. I've talked about it in my other videos. This is paper that I've had for a really long time. I picked it up for like under $3 a ream, and it was normally $27 a ream. So I've just been trying to use it up. It's not vellum, it's a linen paper, but it feels like a vellum. Jana says, love the flip out. Thank you so much, Sam. Pretty with all the colors and textures. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot there. And, you know, even though I did that all on one page, take some of those techniques and put it on separate pages. You don't have to do them all on one page. You could separate it all out and use it in different areas in your journal. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I want to stamp in these corners. So I've got the 1912 rubber stamp by Beeline Designs. We're going to ink that up and we're going to stamp it right here in the corner. I just wanted some interest in the corners. Okay. Move that away. The next thing I want to do is I want to add something to this edge. So guess what? I've got some fabric here. And what I do is I will just go to the salvage side of my fabric and make a little snip and then rip it, and that'll give me that frayed edge. So I'm going to unfold this, push it up so I have a little more room. I'm going to look at this edge, and then I'm going to put down a bead of glue on the edge of the page. We're going to make our own fabric ruffle. So I'll stick down the fabric into the glue and kind of squish it up with my fingers. I like doing it this way as opposed to trying to maneuver the fabric on the sewing machine as you sew, because sometimes it just gets a little out of hand. This way, if I glue it down, then when I go to the sewing machine, it'll be in place. I don't have to fight with it, trying to get it adjusted the way that I want it on my page. Now you may have to apply a little bit more glue when you get to the end, but I just press it down with my fingers. And we're going to cut off the excess. Okay? We're going to flip it and then do this side. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go this way. And if you're not a member, this is from the Artistic Stencil Club. If you're not a member of the Artistic Stencil Club, you get 4 stencil designs between 3 stencil sheets for $19.99 a month. And they're all different. They're all fun. And you also get a 20% discount on additional stencils if you want to add more stencils to your stash. This is the time to do it because I have over 150 stencil designs outside of Stencil Club. And you can order past Stencil Club. So if there's a design that you like from one of the past Stencil Clubs, when you sign up, just say, hey, Linda, I want the June 2021 Stencil Club, or I want the December 2019 Stencil Club, whatever it may be. All right, so we're going to go across there. We're going to go to the sewing machine in just a moment. We'll give that a moment to dry. So I'm just sewing cam alert. We're coming up. I'm going to set that over here for a moment. And while I'm waiting, I stamped the tiny postcard. And I'm going to grab... Where is it? It's going to be on the last page I pick up. I know it is. There it is. Got it. This is the tiny library card. And we're going to stamp this a couple of times. And then I need to fussy cut them out. So I'll stamp one up here. And I'll stamp one right here. So I wanted to show that I physically can stamp some items. And I'll just cut this out. Put that in my little bin. And we'll trim these out. Sewing lamb. Uh-oh. Somebody needs to change their password. Uh-oh, you need to change your password, Barb. So he doesn't know how much money that you have. He should only have access to giving you money, not looking at how much you have. I'm kidding, y'all. I know families and couples that they keep everything separate, but Henry and I have ours all together. He has access to it. Just have to go over to my computer. It's all there. All right, so I'm just trimming these out real fast while I'm spying on you. Oh, that he can't read because he can run the computers. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. It's funny, my father-in-law, he's losing his eyesight. And so he's constantly like, okay, what does this say? What is this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to magnify it. You agree with that, Sam? He should only have access to giving money, not seeing how much I have. I like these easy touch, micro touch scissors by Fiskars. All right, so we've got those. I'm just going to throw this away. I think the glue might be dry enough, but I'm going to go ahead and just ink these up real fast. Okay, we got all this. All right, let's go to the sewing machine. Oh, Amazon Prime today. Uh-oh. All right, we're going to go over here, and we're just going to stitch down this edge. Make sure I have what is that? That stuff that you put through the needle? Thread. I have thread. I had to make sure it's through the needle. All right. And I'll flip it and do the other side. Sewing, 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 sew on. We're sewing in a junk journal today. It's been stitched upon. It's been stitched upon. Your boyfriend is Junkie Joe Giovanna? Oh, dear. Okay. I'm getting all my little goodies out again. So, on this side, I want the postcards, and I want, let's see which fabric I want. I want some of this fabric. Got little threads here. Okay, I've got a little of this fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to be just a tad wider than my postcard. I'll do that again. Just a tad wider. And I think what I want to do is I'll put a little bit of glue on the back side of my postcard. I just use a scrap of paper to stamp my little postcard. And we're going to grab that. So it's just kind of offset just a little bit. Looks good. Thank you, Sam. We'll add some glue on the back side. And let's put it kind of cockeyed, cattywampus, at an angle. Depends on where you're from. All right. And I'll do that again on the other side. I'm kind of glad I get to use all these fabrics. I would buy remnants of fabric when I was at the fabric store because they're usually discounted to about the same price if I had used a coupon. And if I had extra money, then I would just buy a remnant and then use my coupon for something else when we go to Hobby Lobby. Now they don't do the coupons. So here's a couple of the fussy cut elements from the kit. And we're just going to put those right there. Kind of coming off. Come on, Junkie Joe. Say something. All right, let's put that right here. What do you think? So that'll be that upper corner. So we have a little texture. We have the background, so you have a place to write. All right, on this side, I've got the little library card. And I've got this little cupcake. Petit four. Isn't it a petit four? I think it's a petit four. When it's a little square, it's a petit four. How many bucks do you have, Barb? Do a bucks. There you go, bucks. Oh, he wouldn't do anything. He won't say anything if you don't have enough. If you don't got enough, he ain't going to talk to you. There's a minimum to get him to speak to you. All right, so I'm just going to go down the side. I think that would be kind of cute. All right. Got some thread, random thread. Put little dots of glue on the back side. And then this is going to go kind of over here on the edge. And then we'll put a cupcake in the, or petit four. Thank you so much, Sam. That was, you know, mixing the kind of a teal blue, the peacock, royal peacock color, or curious with the pink. I think makes this a pretty page. Yeah, isn't the fabric pretty? I bought apparently several from this line because they matched. Like here's another fabric, but it's different, but it's the same color scheme. I was going to make a quilt with it. All right, and then we're going to glue this right here. And then I have a little birdie that I thought would be cute as a tuck spot. So we're just going to put glue across the bottom and glue that down. And then these will go in the pocket or the tuck spots. I'm just going to kind of set them there. All right, let me move some things out of the way so that I can work on the next portion. Okay. Trim. What do you think? Did y'all like that one? Doing this way. This will be our little tuck spot inside here. Have those little things. I'm trying not to push it down into the glue. That's why I'm not putting it all the way down in there. There are two things that smell like lobster, and one of them is lobster. Hi, Giovanna. He's a sea creature. He may be allergic to seafood. That Tattered Angel looks so wet on that page. Yeah, it is. It's not, but it does. Alrighty. Let's do this. I want to put together the journals. Then I'm going to make an extra cover to go over the outside of it. But I want to put the journals together so that y'all can see where my thinking came from as to the size that I want to do. Weirdo! Yeah, it looks dimensional, Deborah. Yeah, that's part of the Tattered Angels, you know, and using with the stencils, it just gives it a lot of texture. I was just cleaning my hands just a little bit. All right, so I want this page to be my center because I really like how this all came together. So I'm going to set that over here in my center spot. And then I'll show you the other pages that I made. Fabric in the way. So I took the printed pages and I used one of my paper punches and glued it to the edge and sewed it, much like I did the fabric. So these are some of the pages. So we'll put one right there. Can I see that? Oh, and I forgot to show y'all. Who knows what the next kit's going to be? The next subscription box. I have a couple of sample pages I'll show you. I just love how adding that little, just the punched edge. Just taking strips of paper and punching it and then gluing it down. My sewing was awful on that one. Okay. This one is a scrapbook page, that was 12 by 12 that I trimmed to be 11 inches across, and I cut it in half so it's 6 inches tall. And then these are a couple of the elements from the kit. And this was a scrap that I cut off of another page that I'll show you in just a moment. And I just sewed it down, glued it into place. And on this side, we used the same stencil from the June Stencil Club. And we used the leaf border, I think it's what it's called. And then that same concept of layering the library card fabric. And then that's the medium butterfly. I think it's medium. It might be small butterfly. Yeah, it's the smaller butterfly. And I watercolor painted it using the 2 different colors of pink and purple Tattered Angels on there. So we'll put that maybe right there. I had some of this really pretty purple paper. Again, this is from the lady that had the wedding invitations. And this time I used some of that scrap purple that she gave me and stamped with the beach rose, and then put this element on top after I stitched. And I had some journaling cards that I picked up a long time ago, and I added this little pansy. This is from the kit, and I just added fabric behind it. Here's another journal card like that one I just showed you. On this side, I added little collage, kind of like I showed you on the others. This says Loving Thoughts. That side said Memories. And then this kind of repeats itself. This, I used some cheesecloth. I sprayed it with that dark blue from the Dancing Dragonflies kit. And I just thought it just worked because it pulls that color out of here. So let's put that right there. This page was made from a mop-up page. And then this is a scrap of a 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And I just kind of stamped over it. I made a journal card by using a strip of fabric and then one of the fussy cut elements. And then I happen to have this paper bag or little baggie. And so I just put one of the cards that happened to fit. I didn't embellish it. I just thought it was kind of pretty the way it was. Just the little pink flowers back there on this side. So I used that same 1912 in the background. Here I made kind of like a quilted square. So I took a piece of fabric on a scrap of purple paper that was happened to be laying on my desk. And it worked out that it fit right behind the little pansy. Yeah. When I use neon green, you don't like the neon green. Nice blue cheesecloth. Thank you, Julie. This is the ornamentation, I think is what it's called. And then I used one of the cupcakes that Norella put in the kit. All right, so we've got 2 of those. So I need to organize these in such a way that I'm kind of alternating my fabric pages with my non-fabric pages. And I mean by the edge. So here's another one where I put a scrap of fabric on the edge. This was a scrapbook paper that happened to be kind of a purpley color. These are from the kit. This is that textured paper that Robin hates. It looks like alligator. Well, I flipped it over and used the other side, not the shiny side. And I like that texture. It doesn't quite look like alligator or skin scales. And it tones it down just a little bit. Here I used the lace duo across a journal card that I made out of some cardstock that I have. And I used Aspire to be Amazing and Live Your Best Life. I just stamped those onto strips of paper. And on this side, I used from the... I just forgot the name of the set of flowers. Just go to the flowers and look at all of them, y'all, and the rubber stamps. Looks better in reverse. Like the pink. And then here I am, Enough, and On This Day. And then Norella had these cute little shoes with the pansies on them. I thought, well, they just kind of look cute there. So, let's see. I've got this edge, this edge, this edge. This one will go there. And then here is another scrapbook page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. That was scrapbook paper that are hydrangeas. And I used a new stamp that I hadn't used before. This is, let me get Letters from Home. It's from Beeline Designs. And I stamped it onto some scrap paper that I had here so that I could make this little collage in the corner. So I made it a text spot, added some cheesecloth that I sprayed with Tattered Angels, used one of the cupcakes from the kit. And then this is a piece of cardstock, craft cardstock, and this is one of those tear-off sheets. And then here's a mop-up page. And then there's another tear-off sheet. And then there's the back side of the mop-up page that was just folded in half. And I added some fabric across the top. I had a strip of the punched edges because I was using 12 by 12 pieces of paper. And so it just happened to be 3.5 inches wide. It's the same width as this. And I added a little fabric. And I thought that makes a great journaling space. And you could take this completely out and give it to somebody if you wanted to. It's a great little gift idea. We did fabric down the edge again. And on the inside, I stamped with the clock because Norella had this clock image, birdcage looking clock, fat flower clock. And then she had this little clock that she put. I don't think I got it straight up and down. I didn't. It's crooked, but that's okay. And then she has this little pocket that comes in the kit. And I just grabbed one of the cards that fit to go inside. You could glue this down if you want, or you can use it like I did and stick it down in there. And then that same scraps of paper that I showed earlier, I made into little tags and then just stuck those in here. All right, so let me look how I've got this set up. Okay, that goes there. Then I need a plain edge. And then I need the fabric edge. And then we'll just kind of reverse that. Okay, so now I've got them all laid out the way I think I want the pages. I'm going to put that one right there. Oh, and I have a doily that I folded. And we're just going to poke it into the journal like this as a little pocket page. Okay. For the inside cover, we're going to make another cover here in just a moment. I've got a piece of the cardstock and I stitched down the edge. So we're going to go ahead and grab our pages. 1, 2, 3. I got a message. Did we lose Robin? Robin's electricity popped off. Robin is not with us for a few minutes till she gets her electricity back, her computer back running. I think that's where I want that. Do I want that there? Yeah, I do. Okay. And then we'll put this here. Oh, thank you, Barb, for your donation. Thank you, Tanya, Janice, Irma, Morgan, Margie, and Lori. We're going to put this one kind of in the middle. Put that over it. Going to be a minute waiting for the internet to come back. So be nice. Don't talk about Robin too much. And then that'll be in the center. So see how we've got this nice variety of edges in here? All right, I'm going to lay this aside for a moment. And we'll bind it here in just a second. This will give Robin time to come back. So what has everybody been working on? What have you been doing? I haven't felt very well, so I have not sat at my computer because my head hurts too much to look at a computer screen. So I am behind on sending out orders. I apologize. Please forgive me. I'm hoping that I'll feel good enough tomorrow to get some stuff done. I'm waiting on some rubber stamps to be cut. And also for some stamps from Beverly to send out some orders. So if you have any additional orders you want to put with your stuff, Barb, before your boyfriend reads more of your PayPal account. Tanya finished your journal. Yay! Congratulations. Thank you, Nadine, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. This will be in the center of the journal. I'm going to get my junk journal binding tools. I want to bind it together before I show you how to make the cover, outer cover that I want to make. Maybe use these. All right, so I'm going to take this, and I happen to have some binder clips. We're going to use some of those. We'll put the journal that you win in the box. Okay, I understand. Positive thinking. I need to find my bigger ones, but I happen to find a couple of these smaller binder clips. You don't want your pages moving on you as you are stitching your signatures together. So that's why I'm putting the binder clips on. And I'll go ahead and add these giant paper clips just to help hold everything in place. Thank you, Kathy, for your donation. Okay. I got my template. We're going to do a 3-hole punch pamphlet stitch. Got my Tim Holtz. Thank you, Amanda Dawn. Hey, how are you, lady? Hope you are well. Hope you are well. All right, we're going to punch that there, and right here, and right here. I'll do a flip through of the journal after I make the outer cover. All right, so we're going to do a pamphlet stitch. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Norella. No, I have not. I'm getting ready to. Where'd my scissors go? See, that paperclip just went flying. All right, so while I sew, I will put some of the pages up here. Let's flip that one over. Those are 2 of the pages from the next kit. Does anybody know what the theme is? And does that meet the theme? Okay. I'm going to do a pamphlet stitch. Fluffy and chubby. Thank you so much, Norella. Tea. It's going to be garden tea party. Norella got a couple of the pages already done. I'm glad. Maybe we'll get things done early because I got to get this box shipped the few days before I go on vacation with my husband. So if I get everything done early, then I can get all ready and hopefully I can get boxes shipped out ahead of schedule. That would be nice. You like it? Thank you. Pretty colors. Okay, so did anybody donate? Manda Dawn donated $4.44. Kathy Orlando donated $4.99. Nadine Wheeler donated $2. Barb Dingwell donated $2. Tanya Chan donated $4.99. You probably have the others. I'm just going to read them anyway. Janice Brammer donated $5. Thank you so much, y'all, again, for your donations. And Irma Rosales donated $5. Then Margie Jink Amafink donated $40. Lori Merchant donated $5. All right, so let me do the other one real fast. And then we're going to make this outer cover. Let me flip this over so you can see the other side. Do you like the colors that I picked? This was my idea for the color scheme. I was going through the past kits I made, and I didn't really have this color scheme before. It's different, I think. And so I sent it to Norella. I said, hey, what do you think? You think you can work with this? And this is the theme I want. I want it to be garden, flowers, and tea party. And she said, I think I can work with that. So do you think she's done well so far? Thank you so much for donating to me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The kit is a must-have. You like my kits, Deborah? Thank you so much. Oh yeah, bookmarks are a great gift. Great, great gift. Tea time sounds awesome. All right, we're going to stamp that. My paper clips are flying. They are flying away. Put it back on there. So what happens when they're fluffy. Fluffy journal. Start in the middle. When you leave. What now? Linda's, when do you leave? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I leave on my birthday. So I will have a live stream on Monday, August the 16th. And that's probably going to be whatever the crap I want to do. Because it's my birthday day before. And then the next morning, we get up and go. At first, our flights were supposed to be 5 a.m., but we got a notification from the airline that now our flight doesn't leave until 8 a.m. So I'm glad for the 3-hour difference. I'm happy for that. Yeah, August the 16th is our live stream, our Monday night live stream. And then August the 17th is my birthday. And we will get on the cruise ship on my birthday. All right. We're going to work on the cover. I've already made one, so I know the gist of what I want to do as soon as I find it. All right. So I happen to have a bunch of this printed canvas. And I trimmed it so that it was just slightly larger top to bottom. And I just left it the length that this piece happened to be. I will measure it just a moment. And I did that so that I knew that if I did it like this, that I could make a wrap journal out of it, okay? And so this isn't the pretty side of the fabric for me. So we're going to go right up here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 3/4 about is what it was. And again, this is because that's what it was. I didn't deliberately cut it that long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 inches tall. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I've just got some fabrics, just some random pieces here that I thought we would use. So some of these I used in the journal. Some of them, yeah, I think I did. I used all of them in the journal. So I'm just going to look here. So what if I did a strip like that? So I'll just kind of snip it close to where I want it and just rip it. That'll give me that frayed edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm just laying it out, trying to see how I want to put this together. Maybe this time what I want to do is run this down this edge. And then I've got this purple here. I think this is all I have left of this purple. And it's wider here, so maybe that's what we'll do. And then I don't have to use as much, but I think I like that. Just add a little bit here. I'm thinking, do I want to put a different strip across here? I don't know. I'm trying to see if I want to break that up or not. I don't think we're going to go all the way to the edge. We're going to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. That's going to go there. And we're going to go ahead and trim this here. Okay. And I'll flip this over and use this as a guide. There's my surface is a cutting mat, so I'm just grabbing my rotary cutter so I could cut that strip off. Okay. How's that? Trying to cut off any excess here. I think that'll be good. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take this little piece here and just put a little bit of glue down to help hold it in place. And then we'll go to the sewing machine here in just a moment. I made this way so that y'all could see that you could put together a relatively simple but kind of cute journal cover, and it doesn't have to be precise. And I'm just gluing it in place instead of using pins. So that's why I'm not using very much glue. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, then use a nice fabric glue or Aleene's tacky glue, and be generous, but don't be so much that it's gooping up, and you just need enough to hold it in place. Smooth it out. All right, we're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch around the outside edge, and then we'll stitch these pieces in the middle. We'll kind of stitch down this way and then stitch that way. I also made a tie. So what I did was I cut a strip or tore a strip of fabric, and then I had some of this lace seam binding, and I just stitched it on top. So I'm just going to fold this over a little bit, and I'm going to put that, I think that's what I want to do. So when the journal is closed, no, the journal is closed. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So I'm going to put this wherever the center is, and you can find it by kind of folding it. I'm not putting anything on the inside. You can, but since this was relatively plain, and I have another thing I am going to do, but I'm not going to put any fabric on the inside. We're going to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch this little piece into place right here, and then we'll stitch all the way around. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought it was just mixing it all up. It was okay to have different fabrics, different flowers. All right, so we're going to take this piece, and I'm just stitching it down close to the edge. And I did go back and forth because that's a little bit of a loose area because it's going to be the tie. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so now I'm going to cut my thread. I think I already did, but, and I'm going to start up here on this edge, and we'll stitch again over that fabric lace tie. Can you see how easy it is to create this? And you could put another piece of fabric on the inside if you want. Add pockets. Rotate at the corner. It goes a lot faster if you can streamline your pieces and have bigger pieces, but if you don't, just take your time and go around all the little pieces. All right, now here's important. You want to make sure you're not sewing over your tie. Ask me how I know that you should check for that. If you want it fluffy, Robin pointed out, well, you could make it fluffy. If you want it fluffy, add some quilt batting underneath your layers here. All right, I want to make sure that I'm not getting my tie, and then we're going to sew down the middle here. All right, we got her done. Let's come back over here for a minute. Okay, so now we have this piece that we stitched. You can see the back or the inside, and here is the front. So what I want to do now is, I know this is going to be the front cover. It's going to come to the edge here. So what I'm going to do is I need to crease this just a little bit. And I've got, where'd it go? I've got some ribbon. So I want to go at least the height, maybe a little bit past. And I could have pinned this in place earlier, but I wanted to kind of keep this separate. So I'm going to fold over the edge of this ribbon, and I'm going to pin it right here at that fold. And this is going to allow me to put my journal in kind of a Midori style, but it's just one band. And because it's not elastic, it won't bow up my journal cover. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and stitch across both of these. Did you get that? I just cut a piece of ribbon and put it in place. Oh, what's going on? Not my good scissors. Don't put your pens in your mouth. It's a bad habit. Because if you cough or you stub your toe and you go, ah, and then you got a pen in your mouth, you may go down. One of my quilting friends, her sister swallowed a pen that she had in her mouth. And they were very worried and took her to the emergency room to see what they needed to do about it. Okay. Stitched in place. Alrighty. So now I'm going to take one of the journals and slip it. In theory, I didn't test this. I probably should have. But, oh, I got it. I just had to help it a little bit. So that'll go in here. And then this will fold over. And then we can wrap our journal. You like it? So I made a different one earlier. So it is different because I was using the scraps that were already kind of torn or on my desk. So here is the other cover that I made. So I happen to have this piece already cut, and I had a strip. So I started with the strip. I put this one here, and I just kind of pieced it around until I was done. And I did the same band on the inside. I'm going to go to this one. And this one's a little tighter, so I have to fight with it just a little bit. But once I get it there, here we go. And then this folds over, and it wraps around again. Okay? I'm going to trim off I like the frayed edges. All right, so let's take a look at these. So here's what we're doing now. I should have already done the raffle. So if y'all haven't already gotten in onto the little goodies raffle, do so now. I thought this was going to take me a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is let me dig through my beads and charms and whatnots and see what I can find, if anything, that we can put on the strings. So we had a little time, and y'all get in on the raffle. Just put it in your box. Oh yes, thank you, Barb. I need to sign them. Thank you for the reminder. Where is it? This journal made by. Got my little. This journal made by. I'll go to the back cover. Do I have it right side up? Yeah. You kind of see it. It's still June. All right, and we'll do the same over here. This journal made by. Sign it. Okay. Yeah, now that you have the kit, you better see if you have pansy fabric. Well, I didn't have any pansy fabric, Lori. I used everything else. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see what I have here. Yeah. Oh, there's a few beads. I'm trying to see if I had some beads. We got a little bit of time today. I got done quicker than I thought I would. Yeah, I don't like that. Thank you so much, Sherry, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Ada, welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all get in on the raffle. I got these 2 hearts. What else do I have? I have some gold. No, let's use a different color if I've got one. Let's see what I have. Well, that may be all I have. I'm out. Oh, I found 2. I got these 2 little roses. I think that'll work. I thought I had some beads in here, but I don't have the color I want. Well, I do have some blues. Well, let's do that. Here we go. There we go. Just kind of get a little variety out here. Just dumping them in my little dish so I can just dig around and see what I have. Anything else? I think that'll work. Let's just do that. Let's do that. All right, so I'm just going to grab a string and I'll grab 3 beads. These are the beads that come in the subscription boxes. And I get this size because the wax linen thread goes through them when you can see the hole. Apparently I can't see the hole. There it goes. I just couldn't see it. Couldn't get the right angle. So I just put 3 little beads on there. And then I'll grab one of the charms and we'll just tie a knot. Okay. Thank you, Janice. Vintage photos and junk journals. So are you saying as part of the decoration of the page, Lori, or as of like real vintage photos that you're trying to showcase? Not that many people like photos. Some people are creeped out by photos of people they don't know. I like using them. I have a few vintage photos. I have, of course, the digital versions. So I can see what I can do. So next Monday, it'll be an eclectic day. And I'll see if I can't put that as an idea for you. Bye, Norella. Thanks for coming in. Oh, Irma, you earned your coupon code. If you have an order with me right now that I haven't shipped yet and you want to add something to it so you don't have to pay additional shipping, you can send me a message through my website and I'll give you a coupon code you can use. All right, so that's just little charms. Let me do this one, and then we're going to do the raffle for the goodies. So y'all get on the raffle. Real vintage photos of your family. They're awesome, and I have gorgeous green folders. Oh, cool. Okay, so real photos. I've got a few of my grandparents. I'll have to see if I can find them. I think I scanned them all in. And I can print a couple of those, pretending like these are my, real photos, but they're reprints. And I'll probably print some of Norella's. And I'll see what I can do for a couple of page ideas. Just chatting away. Thank you, Deborah, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, I'm just grabbing 3 little beads, putting them on the string, and then I'm adding a little charm. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you all for donating. Hey, if you haven't already done so, go over to my website, lindaisrael.com, and create a user account if you're a new donator, especially. And you will want to then message me and say, hey, Linda, I donated during the live stream. And then I will get you added to my YouTube donator membership on my website. And you get some free digital downloads just for making your donation. So it's kind of like a membership, I guess you could say. You're donating to get into the membership. And then as part of your membership, at the end of this video today, I'm going to have a raffle, and those who have donated are eligible to win this raffle. All right, y'all ready for the raffle? We're going to do a flip through. Okay. Yeah, make duplicates. You leave in 3 minutes? Oh my goodness. All right, let's pick a winner of this little bag of goodies. Y'all ready? I didn't get my protein shake drink today. I was so busy. All right. The winner of the bag of goodies, Bonnie Lipke. Congratulations. I have a package I'm getting ready to send to you, I believe. I believe. All right, let's reset this. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the giveaway for the last time, and this will be for the donators only. And we're going to call this Pansies Junk Journal. Getting that all typed out. All right, open giveaway. So these people have donated, and that is Deborah, Sherry, Manda, Kathy, Nadine, Barb, Tanya, Janice, Irma, Morgan, Margie, and Lori. Thank you all for your donations today. I greatly appreciate it. You have that ladybug fabric? You probably gave it to me. All right, so this is the wrap journal number 1. And I guess if you want a particular one, you'll need to speak up. I don't know how we're going to distinguish them. I guess if we could do light purple floral. That's the cover. So we have the Pansies cardstock, linens, what I used. I used some of the Pansies papers, and then the pages. I did the punched edge. And we've got a pocket here. So these are the goodies that I chose to put in here. I wanted additional writing space. This was a fancy pearlized paper that was given to me. This paper down here at the bottom was also given to me. My nail polish is chipping. This scrap of a hydrangeas paper, I believe that was also given to me. So that's my junk. This square in the background was also given to me. So I was trying to use a lot of different things. And then the fabrics, I buy remnants whenever I go to the fabric store and I have a little bit extra money. I do it that way because they discount them usually pretty much 40% or more. And most places, if they put, some of them put it 50% off. So if I have a coupon for something specific, I can go over there and splurge if I find something in the remnants pile that I like. And I used to do this a lot. So I have a lot of little snippets of fabric. And that's why I was able to do this today, because I've had all this grouped together purples that I was thinking about making just a funky purple quilt, but I didn't get to it yet. So over here we use some fabric again. I use the lace duo here. This is the tiny postcard over here. I'm not in shot. Sorry about that. Just a little pocket that I made. This is another scrapbook paper that was given to me. I just liked the colors. And then I used the polka dot stencil on this side. And Sun-Kissed Cube. I remembered the stamp name. Sun-Kissed Cube. That's what this flower is from. And I just stamped around the perimeter. The shoe is from Norella's kit. Over here, I used another scrapbook paper that I happen to have in my stash. I was just trying to use all different types of flowers, and I just wanted an eclectic feel to go with the digital. On this side, more of the fabric. That's the Beeline Designs butterfly, my library card, the tiny library card. Okay, why are you, camera, acting that way? And then we've got the leafy vine around the edge. And I thought that was kind of neat for, you know, a half page. I used a paper punch on a strip of paper and glued it and then stitched it into place. This is some watercolor paper that I happen to have. It's a 6x6 square, and I just trimmed it a little bit, added the fabric, stitched across it, and used one of the elements. Here I used the 1912. Here's another piece of fabric on top of a scrap of cardstock that happened to be laying on my desk. So I was like, okay, I'll use that. This journal was more about using scraps. If y'all didn't know, let me grab that. When I have scraps left over, like this little strip of purple that I happen to have left over, it goes down in here. And so I've got this little large envelope thingy that has purple things inside of it. So there could be stickers, there could be images. Most of it is scrap papers, just cardstock pieces and text weight papers and whatnot. And so I really tried to pull from that to make this journal. And I'm trying to do that more because I've got so many things in my room that I need to use up and get rid of. I get to keep one journal today. Yay, Robin. Cool. Yay. Okay. So this one is a little flip up. And basically all I did was just take a piece of cardstock and I glued a piece of paper, one on top of the other, glued the fabric, glued the little paper piece, and then stitched after I Tattered Angels. This is a new rubber stamp by Beeline Designs that's called Letters from Home. And the addresses and names are all people that Beverly knew. Her address at the business, and then the names were all friends and family members. I thought that was kind of cool. This was some cheesecloth here. And this is one of the images from the kit. And this little tag, again, was one of the scraps. This doily was something that somebody gave me. I didn't put anything in it, but you could put a little pocket in there, or you could glue some photos on either side if you wanted to. That June Stencil Club, the 1912 stamp in the background from the kit. That's the tiny postcard. Put fabric along the edge here. There's a lot of work that went into this. Library card from the kit. This is sheet music in the background, and this was a glittery piece of cardstock that I wove the ribbon through the holes. It's fun, fun, fun. Okay, and here we are to the center of the journal, and we have this pocket here. And we have this pocket here. And then this flips out. So we have writing space over here and writing space over here. Okay. And then we have a pocket in the middle. I didn't put writing space there. You could add your own if you wanted. But I wanted to leave a little bit of that sheet music so you could see the junk. This is where I put down the piece of ribbon in the center. And you can see this one's loose-ish. It's not too tight on there. Put another little fussy cut on there. This was a napkin. Some of the elements from the kit. Another backside of the mop-up page. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you so very much. She wanted me to do, she said, do the pansies last week. Do the pansies. And I took her to the post office. Do the pansies. Okay, I did the pansies. This is from the kit. It's a little library pocket. You could glue it down. You could even cut off this piece if you wanted and then glue it as a pocket this way, and you could have 2 journal cards. A little tag there. This is why Junkie Jane left him. Oh dear. That's the ornamentation stamp. Thank you so much, Giovanna. Thank you so very much. And then this is one of these pink little bags. That says Paris. And I just use linen cardstock. He's a cheater. You love the fold-out page, Dennis. Thank you so very much. All right, if y'all have donated, get in on the raffle now. And this will go right here. More of the punched page. So it just kind of repeats a couple of changes, but not much. It's fluffy. And I didn't want to have edges on every single page. So that's why, and I liked the mixing of the paper and the mixing of the fabric. You know, doing different fabrics on those edges. And this one with the cheesecloth kind of pokes out just a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. And then I made this so it's the same even as this piece. Even if you add more stuff to it, it'll fluff up like that. But you should still be able to take this piece. I'm just going to guide it a little bit. And wrap it. So we'll go here. Got a little bit of an extra tail. So you could cut a piece of that off if you wanted. And make another tag out of it. And so this one is the same concept. I'll just kind of thumb through it so you can see. I just used different pages. I used every single element from the Pansy kits in these journals. So the only difference in between them is there are 6 different images. There's 12 total images in the kit that are used between the 2 journals. So I printed 6 pages, 2 different sides, both double-sided. Right? Is that 6? Something like that. 6 per page. There's 12 images. Alrighty. Alright, you ready? Let's see who's going to be the winner today. Thank you again, y'all, for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Monday, I'm going to do an eclectic journal. I'm still trying to use up a lot of the stuff that I have in my stash. I'm trying to clean a little bit. Plus, I haven't felt very well. So I'm trying to be inspired by the things that I have already and use them. And hopefully what I'll be doing is a technique where I use some vintage photos next Monday. So it'll be an eclectic when I'll use some vintage people photos. I'm going to see if I can find some of my grandparents, my great-grandparents maybe. Alrighty, so let's do this. Let's see as everybody's in. So Deborah, Sherry, Manda, Kathy, Nadine, Barb, Tanya, Janice, Irma, Morgan, Margie, Lori. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got 12 names. So we're ready. Let's pick a winner. And that winner is Deborah Cade. Congratulations, Deborah. You've won. Do you have a preference on which journal that you would like? Would you like the one that has the purple strip or the flowers? Purple strip or flowers? And congratulations. Y'all, if you have any questions, definitely ask. You can also come to my website, lindaisrael.com, and use the contact me form there. I am working on some ideas. I haven't got my computer work done, but I'm working on some new ideas for some rubber stamps and stencils. So be on the lookout for those in the next week or so. I'm jelly. Purple strip. All right, so she wants this one. All right, so Deborah's getting that one. I'm going to get a piece of paper and write Deborah. I got to write a thank you note. All right. Congratulations. What else? If you have a technique or idea or concept or thingy that you want me to show how to use or try to incorporate, feel free to ask. I greatly appreciate that. Just, give me some feedback of what you want to see. I'm trying to show y'all some different things. I feel like sometimes I do the same thing over and over, so I really have to struggle sometimes to come up with, what can I show you that's a little bit different? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me and being my fans and my family and my friends. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. What else? Be on the lookout for the next subscription box. That ships out August the 15th. It's going to be tea themed. Oh, if there is an element that you wish to see in the kit, for example, we had file folders last time. People seem to really like the file folders. Maybe you want an envelope template, or maybe you want more faux postage or words. Tell me what you want. You're very welcome, Irma. I hope you liked it. It's easy. Yay, Deborah. I'm so glad. Yay. You're welcome, Morgan. You're welcome, Tanya. Aren't they lovely? I think they turned out really great. And I get to keep one. I get to keep one. Y'all are talking to my forehead or my middle of my face. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you're inspired to create, An envelope template. Yeah, Morgan's ready for an envelope template. I have envelope templates in my shop, Morgan, by the way. Alrighty, y'all. Let's see, what else? If you had ideas, if you had items for the kits, I think that's about it. All right, everybody. Next Monday, I'll be back. Yeah, leave a comment afterwards. Tell me what you like, what you want. I'll be back Monday. We're going to do a thank you so much, Margie. Yeah, we're going to start celebrating a month, 2 months in advance. You're welcome, Giovanna. Thank you, Robin, for helping me and being here tonight. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week. What else? We'll be back Monday doing an eclectic journal. And if you have ideas that you want me to try out, let me know ahead of time so I can kind of get it planned a little bit. Try to clean up my stash. For example, I've got this little wad of little strips of fabric here that I need to do something with. It's getting too full, so it's time to do something. Y'all have an amazing week. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so much. We got off early today. I was trying to give you a lot in those, and I feel like we got a lot out of today, I hope. All right, everybody. Have an amazing week. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.